Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Napoleon and today we are back with another Enlisted video, and today we're going to be covering the ME-262. Before this thing even reaches the player base, aka you guys, you can still test this thing out in the dev server, and this is how I'm actually testing this thing out. So without further ado, let's get started with the dev server, and well, let's just get started with the plane in general. And without further ado, let's get started with the history. The Messerschmitt ME-262 was one of the world's first jet-powered fighter aircraft developed by Germany before and during World War II. Initially conceptualized in 1939, yes, this is how far back the project went, Project 1065 faced technical challenges, including unreliable engines and a lack of strategic resources. Although the first ever jet successful prototype occurred in July of 1942, the production was slow and inconsistent due to limited funding, not to mention the fact that you have people in the higher ranks, such as Hermann Göring, having constant issue with jet engines. The so-called designs evolved from a straight wing-rooted engine placement to underwing pods and swept wings, aka you had a lot of different ideas going on. The engines, especially the Jumbo 004, were powerful but short-lived due to substantial materials. As a result, engines require frequent overhauls and operational lifespan of just 35 hours. Despite this advanced design and superior speed, the ME-262 development was then hampered by Hitler and insistence on using a bomber rather than an interceptor. This delay used practically another 1944, and the Luftwaffe was back again using the ME-262 against enemy bombers, to be exact, American bombers. Whereas achieved some success, including, not to be limited, the first jet-on-jet and jet-on-bomber engagements, it was too late to alter the war's outcome. The initial test flights faced some engines flameouts and landing obstacles, which were gradually resolved. This, with other variants, essentially saw the plane go into combat with some issues. By the war's end, the ME-262 was technologically superior to most of the Allied aircraft in the war. It meant that it couldn't really impact the strategic input of the Allied war campaign. And speaking of the Allied war campaign, let's move on to the plane itself. Without further ado, let's move on to the stats. This plane has one single 500-kilogram bomb and 4 30mm cannons. The maximum speed is 887.75, and the best turn time is 18.01. Now, the good thing to know about this plane is the fact that 18.01 is actually pretty bad compared to the other planes. For example, when comparing to the American Meteor, the Meteor has a turn rate of 13.77, which means that this thing can outturn the Messerschmitt ME-262 almost every single time. Not to mention the Kika even has a 15.84, and of course you have the Su-9, which has a whopping 18.6, so it is one of the slowest turning jets as of right now, besides the Su-9, of course. But the 4 30mm cannons and one single 500-kilogram bomb makes up for this in armament. For example, the 30mm cannons, and which you have 4 of them, pretty much ensures that if you can kill infantry, you can kill a lot of them. If you know where the infantry are, fire 30mm cannons and see how fast they die. On the other hand, one single 500-kilogram bomb doesn't seem like much, but at the same time, it's better than no bomb, and having a 500-kilogram bomb means that you can pretty much take out any tank that you wish. And without further ado, let's move on to the verdict. Starting with the verdict, this is not a turn fighter. When I was making this video, I had the unfortunate ability to face me, Admiral Starks, in actual combat. This was actually pretty bad for me because he was in a Meteor and I was in an ME-262, and based on the footage that he just uploaded, I can tell you instantly that the Meteor is much of a better plane than the ME-262. Not only does it have a much better turn, but it also has a much better thrust, from what I hear. Now, it also does appear that the ME-262 has a much better top speed, but the issue for me, I think, was that I somehow couldn't get my turn rate as fast as his, and he just kept out-turning me, meaning that this plane is not a turn fighter, like I said at the beginning. It is an attacker, and it purely is an attacker. Do not ever try to use this as a, well, let's just say a dogfighter. Use this as an anti-infantry, anti-tank machine. This is essentially a jet-powered attack aircraft. This is not a jet-powered dogfighter, and as a matter of fact, I would even suggest that you avoid fights unless he is directly in front of you and you cannot let them swing off. If the enemy is behind you, I actually wish you good luck because there's pretty much nothing they can do. Almost every jet, with the exception of the Su-9, can outturn you. The Su-9 cannot outturn you, but it's so close that if he's behind you, he's almost guaranteed to kill you anyway. Hence, if he's behind you, either go up, which usually results in, well, not too well of an advantage for you, because the Meteor and the Su-9 can also go up and could cause you to stall, and both sides, well, let's just say it's not good for anyone. Needless to say, do not dogfight anyone unless you can almost guarantee the kill in the first round. If you can't, you are pretty much screwed and just run away. Like, essentially run away. Like I said, this is a ground attack fighter, and I think it does a pretty good job thanks to the 430mm cannons and the 500kg bomb. With that said, this is all it for this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join the Discord, and I'll see you in the next one.